Hi there, Freeland. This is targeted specifically towards all staff at the Y5 through 8th grade. If you don't know me yet, my name's Renee. I recently transitioned out of the middle school principal, secondary director of student support position into the K-12 student support director position. And a little later on this week, I'm going to be sending out a welcome video of myself, but we had some things that I feel are a priority prior to that, just to make sure we have our student support leadership teams set up. So this video is specifically for anybody interested in signing up for the student support leadership team this year. If you are not interested in signing up for the student support leadership team this year, you actually can just probably X out of this video unless you just want to know more. But you do not need to watch this video if you're really not interested in joining this team. For those of you that have previously served on the student support leadership team at the young 5s through 8th grade level, we appreciate your service so much, and just want you to know that you are welcome to apply to be on this team again. I am having everybody Y5 through 8th grade reapply, even if you've previously served on the team. Mainly, I just don't know many of our Y5 through 5th grade staff, so I want to make sure I get to know you through this application process, but also because you're going to see some pretty significant changes in Y5 through 8th grade student support. So I want to make sure that I open this up to everybody who's interested, and also if you are feeling like the shifts that are taking place are not something you're interested in, I want you to be able to feel like you don't have to apply even if you've previously served. So this is really open to anyone who's interested. I will go over application deadline and all those sorts of things later on in this video. So we'll begin. Just so you know, some changes in our process. For the 21-22 school year, my understanding is the elementary was set to have some Title I data review meetings biweekly. I've talked to a lot of administrators and staff about these, and for right now, we are going to not have those during this year. So those were supposed to be during, I believe, grade level preps every other week. And instead, what I tried to do to maximize our time and save us from missing out on so many preps is I tried to create a Google form that still met that Title I criteria. And the big shift for young 5s through 5th grade is that we are actually going to have a cyclical rotation where we, as student support leaders, are going to review the Title I data instead of the grade level teams. The reason for this is, again, I just want to make sure we're building capacity within our student support leadership to be able to analyze data well. And I also want to make sure that we are utilizing our time as efficiently as possible that we have when it comes to our preps. And so I think this is a good next step for us as we continue to seek to become a more data-driven institution. What this means for classroom teachers who are doing the referring, I will send an email out every like about a week before each of these dates, and you will complete a Title I Google form for any student that you feel like might need to be into the Title I classroom for a period of time. It is a little bit more extensive than maybe what you've done in the past, but it's just to give our student support leaders good information to use. You don't have to be present at any meetings, you just have to fill out that form. If you're curious about Title I criteria, here is an entrance and exit criteria that I think that everybody has seen. But if not, this is a criteria document that is linked into this presentation that I'll share with you that you can take a look at so you know what we're looking for when we're coming to entrance and exit. Ooh, went a little too fast there. Additionally, for the 21-22 school year, we are kind of making our student support form a little bit more robust. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about that right now. There will be a different video about that. But what people interested in student support leadership need to understand is that if you join this team, we are going to be using a really data-driven approach for interventions this year, whether it be Title I meetings or the regular student support meetings. We're really focusing in on making sure we're targeting interventions appropriately with the data that teachers are giving us, and that is going to be the work of the student support team. So here are some updates to all of our buildings. So you'll see here on the left are the meeting dates. On the right is going to be the topic, and then there's a link to the job description, which looks pretty familiar to what you've seen in the past. So this is for each building, and again, I'll attach this presentation so you can take a look at this. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this presentation here, but understand that you have it for the elementary school learning center, and then I'm going to spend a little time talking about 6th grade and 7th grade and 8th grade. For the 6th grade changes this year, in thinking about our meeting structures and our how our world works at the middle school level, which is what I think most of us know I'm most familiar with, we do so much work at what I would consider like the tier 1 level in terms of our grade level team meetings every week or bi-weekly, that we don't necessarily have a need to meet every other week for student support. So we are going to pilot this year doing student support leadership meetings every month instead of every other week at the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade level, just because our grade level meeting structures function so differently than the rest of the district. And so you'll see the elementary structure here. There is an adjustment in pay for this, so you'll see that reflected in the contract. So it is a little bit of a less pay because we are meeting half as much as, well, it's a little bit more than half, but we are meeting less than our K-5 and 9-12 counterparts. So you'll see that is updated also for our 7th and 8th grade. Link to the job description here, meeting dates, topics there as well. So for those of you interested in applying for the student support leadership team, again, anybody who has applied in the past, thank you for your service. We appreciate it so much. You are welcome to apply again, but we are taking a fresh slate with all these changes. So anyone interested needs to apply or reapply. So you need to, step one, just think about if you want to apply. Read through the application and the questions provided, and then turn them into me by September 7th. I want to give you a few days once school starts, but I do need to know by September 7th so that we can start to fill slots if we have some gaps anywhere. I will then review this with your building administrators. We'll determine teams, and the team will be announced by September 14th as far as who's going to be on each building's student support leadership team. So what's next for student support in general? I'm making some additional screencasts that are going to be available on a menu to view. We don't really have a ton of time for professional learning, especially at the elementary and learning center levels. So I'm going to do a welcome video so you get to know who I am, for those of you who don't. Some 504 items, counseling and student intervention specialist roles and processes, directions for completing those forms that I was talking about earlier, and then just examples about how student support will work this year. At the 6th through 8th grade level, in addition to all of that, I'm also going to give you some information on a positive alternative for school suspension partnership that we have, and a substance abuse vaping program that we have that we were able to secure this summer through some grant funding, and we're super excited about that. So that is what our world is going to be looking like here in the next week or so. So definitely going to be getting some emails from me at that point. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the work of student support after listening to this and knowing kind of the direction we're going, please get your application into me by September 7th. If you have questions, I'm working pretty much every day. Right now it's 8 to 3, 8 to 4 every day until we gear up towards the end of the month, where my hours will be a little bit longer. And so if you want to just swing by, you can see me. I'm housed in the elementary school, or you can shoot me an email and we can connect over Zoom. Thanks so much for your time, and let me know if you have any questions.